Hello everyone, my name is Brian Stevens and I want to welcome you to this edition of Chamber Chats. Today we're very pleased to have with us Chris Pearson and Stephanie Gortham. Chris, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, thanks Brian. I am Chris Pearson. I am the Chief Operating Officer at Centera Norfolk General Hospital and I currently serve as the Chairman for Volunteer Hampton Roads.
Yep. Stephanie?
I'm Stephanie Gorham, CEO of Volunteer Hampton Roads.
Okay. Well, we're here obviously in April to talk about volunteerism because April is Volunteer Month. Is that right?
It sure is.
Okay. So again, could you share with us a little bit about Volunteer Hampton Roads, Stephanie?
Yes, so Volunteer Hampton Roads, we've been around for 65 years. Our mission is to connect businesses and volunteers to community needs, and we do a really good job of it.
Outstanding. Volunteer Hampton Roads very recently, as of January 1st, as a matter of fact, became an affiliate of the Hampton Roads Chamber, and we couldn't be happier that happened. But Chris, tell us a little bit about the purpose and intent behind the affiliation.
Sure, thanks Brian. We signed an affiliation agreement effective January 1, so it's been a couple of months. Very excited about this new partnership that we have with the Chamber. I think as we look at Volunteer Hampton Roads and where we have been and where we want to go, we're very focused not just on supporting the volunteer needs with nonprofits, but also venturing into the field of helping organizations and businesses and employers with their volunteer needs as well. And that's something that we've been focused on in the last couple of years. And so knowing obviously that the mission of the Chamber, we were really excited that this partnership could potentially be underway and ultimately got to be underway because obviously the Chamber's focused on business development and what's best for the region by growing businesses and growing organizations. And I think that the data coming out is becoming more and more clear that businesses that focus on volunteerism boost a better culture within those organizations. They promote better morale within the organizations that focus on volunteerism. And when you think about that and you think about the Chamber wanting to be able to have strong businesses, those businesses that are focusing on volunteerism, I think are going to be better leveraged to do that. And what not a better way than for businesses to be able to do that than partnering with a nonprofit in the community through Volunteer Hampton Roads to help them with those volunteer needs. And so we're really looking at this as a unique opportunity to use what we're really good at in terms of efficient, skills-based volunteerism and being able to help local businesses with what those community needs are and make it a win-win where we can make it easier and a smoother process for the businesses and also be able to leverage the services that we have and get our name and recognition out there so that more and more companies realize what Volunteer Hampton Roads is capable of doing so that we can support those needs. And we think that if we do both of these things really well, that we'll have a stronger, better region overall, which is a win for, again, VHR, and I think a win for the Chamber of Commerce as well. So really excited about how we're going to be able to partner together and use our resources to make this beneficial for both organizations.
Yeah, that's very well said. In fact, you answered my next question, which is going to be why is volunteerism important to businesses? But I think you answered that. Well, Stephanie, you've been running Volunteer Hampton Roads for several years now. Mm-hmm. And could you share with the audience a little bit about what Volunteer Hampton Roads does? Because I know you do more than just linking up organizations with volunteers.
Yes, so that was our primary founding point was to connect nonprofits and volunteers. However, we have grown from that, seeing the need in the business community for philanthropy that included service to the community. So we work with a lot of companies to find out what their corporate social responsibility initiatives are and really helping them align all of their community engagement to fit those initiatives and to get their employees out into the community. We do that for companies across Southside and the Peninsula, and sometimes we bring more than one company together in that service, so it's kind of cross collaboration as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said something that really jumped out at me about corporate responsibilities. I think that's so important, but really it's not just for corporations. I think it's applicable to small businesses as well, don't you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's it's a good business model to give back to your community, number one.
Absolutely.
But two, you're looking at, the current talent and future talent pipeline who want to know that where they're working, they're engaged in the community. And I think that, employers that value that, no matter what size company you are, it would be, it's a smart decision. It's a good business decision to invest in building out volunteer programs.
Oh, absolutely. I think that your employees' morale and the organization's success will increase if you have volunteerism as part of your culture values.
Yeah,
culture values.
I couldn't agree more, and I think especially coming out of the pandemic and what are they calling it, the kind of great resignation, and folks just really stopping and reevaluating what's important to them personally as they choose where they want to work, and people I think are the biggest assets obviously of any company, and so with millennials and with this focus on folks really wanting to be tied into the culture and how organizations give back, it's going to be really important, I think, for a continued focus on organizations to push volunteerism from a retention and a recruitment standpoint. And again, then you create a really a win-win because you're doing wonderful things for the community.
Yeah.
Employees are feeling like there's a benefit personally for them and intrinsic value for what they're doing, and that they work for an organization that values giving back to the community, and you're doing that while creating stronger businesses at the same time.
Absolutely. And you mentioned coming out of the pandemic, and we're looking ahead to the future now. Chris, you're the chairman of the board. What's your vision of Volunteer Hampton Roads, let's say the next 5 or 10 years? Where do you see Volunteer Hampton Roads going?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question, and as a board, we're having a lot of discussions about that right now. And I think given the new partnership that we have with the Chamber, it's a really exciting opportunity for us to build off of a 65-year very strong foundation. And take it to the next level. And I think where we want to go is to really be known regionally as the central hub for volunteer services. So whether that's a nonprofit that needs somebody to help support their needs or their local project, we can help support filling a volunteer in a position for them. Whether it's a nonprofit that needs a board member to sit on their board, we can support facilitating getting a leader in a local organization that might want to be giving of their time to sit on a board for a local nonprofit, or whether it's a project for a local business where they really want to give back to the community through community engagement, that every one of those entities know that they can go to Volunteer Hampton Roads, go to Stephanie and tap into our resources and our team for skills-based volunteerism, and that we really become known as that hub in the region that does it better than anybody else.
Yeah, that is so important to our community, and just think of the quality of life we have if more people do that.
Absolutely.
If I'm part of an organization out there, whether it's a corporation, small business, nonprofit, or whatever, Stephanie, how do I get a hold of you and coordinate your services?
Absolutely. So you can go to our website, volunteerhr.org, and they can sign up to have their own profile, or our emails are on there. And if you're a company or organization, just email me, call me, and we'll walk you through it. I did want to add something too. Just talking about the importance, of volunteerism. During National Volunteer Month, the importance for individuals getting involved, for companies, but as a region, we all want people to stay. We want our talent to stay, we want our families to stay, we want our leaders to stay. And that is one way to get them to stay, is engage them in doing good work.
Yeah.
Because you can't help but do the volunteer work and have a heart connection. And when you're connected, it's harder to leave. So
That's a great point.
Yeah.
We talk about talent attraction, talent retention all the time, and allowing your employees to volunteer is a big part of that. So thank you for that. Well, guys, any final thoughts? Chris, any final thoughts before we close out?
I just want to thank you for your time, Brian, and again, we're excited about this partnership with the Chamber and look forward to where we're going to be able to go from here.
Absolutely. And Stephanie, any final thoughts?
Just thank you. I'm really enjoying this affiliation and look forward to the next year, 5 years, and happy National Volunteer Month.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get involved and let your employees get involved in volunteering in the community and making Hampton Roads the best place it could be, please get a hold of Volunteer Hampton Roads, and they'll facilitate those needs. I want to thank you for watching this edition of Chamber Chat. Have a good day.